Hi, I'm Pastor Janine. We've been talking about wanting to show the kids how to make a pie, and it's a rainy day. I thought it'd be a good day to do it. Candy and Donna want to show the kids how to make a table runner and a pillowcase. I made my first pie at age 12, and I watched my grandma and mom do it, and it looked easy. And then I showed Matthew how to make a pie when he was little. It's not just for girls, guys can do it too. He made a peach pie, and he began to like peach pie after that. You go ahead and take 2 cups of flour, 3/4 cup of Crisco, a tablespoon of sugar, a teaspoon of salt, and 6 tablespoons of ice water. Ice water is the key to rolling out the pie dough easier. So anyway, we begin by mixing the flour and the sugar and the salt together. Then you cut in the Crisco. There's lumps of Crisco, and you just use the side of the fork and just start cutting it in. You can use a pastry blender. You use a rocking motion and just work it through the dough, and that makes it pretty quick. I like the fork best, and I've already mixed one up, and I've got it cut in pretty well, and you can see how it's kind of crumbly or like little pea-sized amounts of Crisco now mixed into the flour. And then you take your 6 cups of ice water and just dribble that through. You don't want to put in too much water or it makes it a big sticky ball. And you'll get a feel for this. It took me a while to figure it out, but yeah, that 6, you just slowly add that in and start stirring. You can always add in a little bit more water if you need to. And you can kind of use your hands and kind of clump it to one side so you get the wet or damp part, and then you don't want it too damp. And then you can figure out what's kind of dry and leave that to the side, and then you might need to add a little bit more water. But you're kind of clumping that together. And I've got a little bit of an ice cube there I found. So you're trying to get the wet part over to the side. And it looks like it got pretty wet. And if you have any dry left, then you add just a little bit more water to get that flour to stick together. And then you draw it up to the side. You're going to want to make 2 balls, one for the top crust and one for the bottom. Get a little bit more flour you don't want too much flour because then it's not as soft. And you just kind of push those balls together. Kind of pack it with your hand. One ball will be, for the top crust. This will start with the bottom crust. And it might feel like it's going to fall apart. You get a paper towel, put some flour on it so the rolling pin, when you're rolling it out, it doesn't stick. You can put a little bit of flour on your rolling pin. I really like a rolling pin that has the ball bearing in it. And it spins easier that way. And you just keep thinking about a circle when you're rolling it out. Start from the center and just kind of roll it out. Add a little bit more flour if you need it so it doesn't stick to that rolling pin. I wish my grandma and mom were here. They could really make the rolling pin spin when they rolled out the pie. So you're almost done with your bottom crust. You want the pie dough kind of uniform when you're rolling it out. Just keep moving it around to each side till it looks like a circle. Sometimes you can hold your pie tin over it and make sure that it's big enough. It looks big enough. Then you fold it over in half. Then fold it over again in quarters, and you take it and you'll lay it in the kind of on the half of the side of the pie tin. Flop it over. If your pie crust breaks up at this point, you can kind of piece it back together. If you have a lot hanging over the edges, you can kind of cut that off at this time, but you want to leave enough. Just trim it off at the edge so you have enough to tuck in when you're putting the top crust on. You can kind of take it off a little bit off here and there wherever it's hanging over. That looks pretty good. So we'll go ahead and roll out the other half. Put a little bit more flour down on your paper towel. Go ahead and start rolling out that second one. This will be for the top. And just think of a circle again and keep rolling that out. Might need a little bit more flour. Let's see where this is. That one to break apart there, but yeah, just keep a little bit more flour. For some odd reason, I have one that wants to split apart there. And sometimes you just, yeah, kind of patch it up and get a little bit more flour. All depends on the size of your dish, how big you want to roll it out to, and I think we've got it rolled out here big enough. There, I've got another hole. Let's see. I'll hold that over there. That looks like it's the right size again. And today we've got blueberry. I mixed blueberries with sugar, a cup of sugar, and 4 tablespoons of flour. And you can throw in a